This might just be my favorite time of year. Like, this is my World Cup. This is my Super Bowl. Today's the day. Hello and welcome to my channel, The Danish Readaholic. My name is Silke and today I am doing a Eurovision Song Contest book tag. For those of you who don't know, I don't really do sports. I don't like watching it, I don't care. So the only few things where I put like all of my time and devotion into watching a competition, Eurovision. With the exception of gymnastics at the Olympics. I love it, but Eurovision is where it's at. And today is Eurovision Day. I had originally planned on posting a haul today. Don't worry, it will be here on Wednesday. But I couldn't miss this opportunity to do something Eurovision related. I also had originally planned on making my own tag, but all of you know how stressful these last couple of months have been for me, so I just haven't had the time. I'm also struggling a little bit with finishing my game, but I am putting in the most effort when we get to Sunday, because that is when my schedule is like clearing up again. So, just a quick, fun little yay, things are going the right way information. I had my interview to become a teacher the other day. Unfortunately, I won't know for certain until like the end of July if I've been accepted or not. But I did get like the highest possible score for the interviews, so that's a good sign. But still, it's not 100% certain, but my chances are good. And then the day after, I got a call and I now have a job that I start the 1st of June. So yay me! Things are going the right way. So, but that's really not what we're here to talk about. It's just like a little footnote for my comments from the last video. So, we're going to talk about Eurovision. Let me just quickly tell you a little bit about what Eurovision is, like in case you don't know. It is basically a song contest. Think, I don't want to say X Factor. I don't really know what it would actually compare to, but it is basically a competition where every single country in Europe and Australia, choose a song to represent their country, and then we compete. There's now, I think, 40 something, maybe 43 countries participating. Let me just look it up. Okay, so there were not that many. There is 37 songs this year, and then it is divided into 2 semifinals, and then we have the finals as well. We also have what is called the Big Five, which is the 5 countries that originally started the contest. And of course, the winner from last year is automatically in the grand final. So that means that there's like 31 countries that need to be in the semifinals. So one had 15, the other had 16. If I'm being correct, like I didn't watch the semifinals, and I know that it's like, Silke, how can you be that big a fan of Eurovision and not watch the semifinals? I never have. It's a tradition of mine. I only watch the final, and then afterwards I go back and listen to the songs that didn't make it to the final. I also know that Denmark, for the 3rd year in a row, didn't make it to the finals, and I'm not even surprised at this point. Let me just, for shits and giggles, tell you which countries actually qualified this year. We have Croatia, Moldova, Switzerland, Finland, Czech Republic, Israel, Portugal, Sweden, Serbia, and Norway. They qualified from the first semifinals. Denmark was in the second one, but that doesn't matter because we did not qualify. The second semifinal qualifiers was Albania, Cyprus, Estonia, Belgium, Austria, Lithuania, Poland, Australia, Armenia, and Slovenia. And then I talked a little bit about the Big Five. It is France, it is United Kingdom, Italy, Spain, and Germany. I forgot Germany. And then we have the winner from last year, which is Ukraine, and they're automatically in the final, which leads us to 26 countries in the final. It is always 26 unless it is one of the Big Five that has won the competition the year prior, then it's 25, and that happened in 2022 because Måneskin won the year before, which I love. I just went to the concert with them in Copenhagen. It was good. Cool, cool, cool. Now I feel like I've rambled a little bit, maybe too much about Eurovision, so let me just get on with the prompts. I will, of course, link the creator down in the comments, but you know me, guys. I don't do well with names, so even though it's been an hour since I've seen the video, I honestly don't remember his name. But I will link it down below. I will have his profile and the link to the specific video so you can go check it out, and please do. The first prompt is national representatives, and I have to pick a author that would represent my country. And I've kind of gone a little different with it because I've mentioned a couple of times that Denmark isn't really that big on fantasy books. It is kind of more seen like a genre for kids. And obviously I disagree. But I feel like picking a fantasy author to represent Denmark in this competition wouldn't really fit. So I've actually gone with a true crime mystery author who is called Jussi Adler-Olsen. I also mentioned this guy because I know a lot of his works has been translated. So in case you are interested in like true crime things, go check him out because he's phenomenal. He is probably the top selling author in Denmark. To my knowledge, this is just stuff that I'm throwing out there. I really don't know, but he's up there. He has done a book that's called The Keeper of Lost Causes, and I've only seen the movie. I've started the book and realized that that genre may not be for me, or at least not his writing. I don't know. There was something about it. I had to stop it. Maybe it was because I knew what was going to happen. That could also be the case. But I know that the movie is great and the story in itself is really scary and ugh. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with Jussi Adler-Olsen for my national representative. Next up we have the jury vote. I'm not gonna go and explain the juries. I think I've explained enough, and if you're interested, have a little research on Eurovision. But the jury vote. A critically acclaimed book that you love. So I had a little look because I was like, a critically acclaimed book, what could that be? So I basically just went and found like a list on Goodreads with critically acclaimed books. And then I had a look at them and I was like, okay, which one of these do I love? I realized not that many. There were two. But one also fits for another prompt that's coming later. So I'm gonna go with the first one. And that is The Hunger Games. I have read it now, but you know that because like... But I need to continue the series, I know, I just don't have them. And also I kind of want the fancy colorful editions, even though this is also stunning, but I like those. And I can get them as a box set, so I might do that. Anyways, if you don't know what The Hunger Games is about, then where have you been? This is like a dystopian where we follow Katniss from District 12, who, in order to save her sister, volunteers to enter these deadly competitions together with Peter Malark, also from her district. And that is all I'm gonna say. Honestly, it's good. If you haven't read it, do it. Next up is a public vote. Also, go have a look at it if you want to. And that is a popular book that you loved. Or best-selling. I just went with popular. My first initial thought was ACOTAR, but I didn't love it. My second thought that I've gotten now, so it's not my second thought, it's like my 100th, was Throne of Glass, which I could have picked, to be honest, but it's been a while since I read it. So I decided to go with Caraval because I've mostly heard good things about this, and I picked it up because of BookTube. So here we are. I love this book. If you don't know what this is about, this has very circusy vibes. We follow two sisters as they enter into this magical carnival, and then one of the sisters disappears and the other figures out that the game that is going on at the carnival is to find her sister. And obviously she's very motivated to do so. The fourth prompt is, but Australia is not in Europe. A book by an Australian author that you love. It's Spice Rhodes. I did not know that she was Australian until I did my compile and had to put down the author nationality also for my stats. So I was like, ooh, hello. And I'm excited to see more from this author because I absolutely love this, as we know. This has like my new book boyfriend and I wish he was real. because I need him in real life. Where is my Taha? I'm tired. So yes, we have this. In Spice Road, we follow Imani. I couldn't remember her name. We follow Imani as she discovers that her deceased brother might not be deceased at all, and she goes on an adventure with her enemy to retrieve her brother from his mission. Then we have Junior Eurovision. Junior Eurovision is the same concept as Eurovision. Denmark is not a part of it anymore. I think we simply just couldn't keep up, honestly. Like the Danish Junior Eurovision. I have no words. But it's fun. So there's that. But the big international one, we can't compete with that. So the prompt for that is a book aimed at children or young adults that you love. I mean, I decided to go for like children middle grades because everything I read is mostly young adult. So, but I couldn't, not pick Land of Stories for this. I love this. And this will forever be my favorite middle grade series, and like, come at me with whatever you want. This has a special place in my heart. I will die for this. Land of Stories is my shit. Like, I love it. I'm thinking of getting like a tattoo inspired by Land of Stories, but I have a hard time trying to figure out what to actually get. So like, I might get like a simplified version of the book, so that it fits with these type of tattoos that I have, even though they're not simple. But I'm thinking of that. So like, if you have any of the ideas, if you read Land of Stories and have an idea for a great tattoo that I could get inspired out of it, let me know. Leave it down in the comments. I forgot to tell you what it was about. So, Land of Stories. We follow two siblings that find their grandmother's magical storybook and realize that it is a portal into all of their favorite fairy tales. They then enter and realize that there is a villain trying to destroy everything, and then they learn a lot about themselves whilst they're trying to find a way back home, but also save the fairy tales. That's about it. The next prompt is Hardback Hallelujah. I believe that is a twist on the winner from 2006, which was Lordi from Finland, who had Hard Rock Hallelujah. And the prompt for this is an author that I love so much that every time they release a book, I will get it in hardback. I would have gone for Chris Colfer because he is my favorite author and no one can really top that at this moment. I read multiple of his books. Like, I think I read just about, I don't want to say just about anything, but I read like his contemporary that he did, Struck by Lightning. There's also one that's something with fan fiction. I haven't read that, I will admit. And then I read all of the series that he has, so Land of Stories and all of the novellas that go along with it. I also read the graphic novel that he had. I also read Tale of Magic, which is a spin-off. So I feel like I can say that he's my favorite author because I've read multiple of his works and not just one universe, if that makes sense. Because I also love Kristen Cashore, but I've only read The Graceling Realm, and I don't know if it's because I love her as an author or if it's because I love that world. So, there's that. But I will also mention, because I have all of her books in hardback, Trisha Levenseller. I adore Blade of Secrets. I liked Warrior of the Wild. I have high hopes for Daughter of the Pirate King, so I'm gonna be hesitant about it because I haven't read multiple series by her, or I've only read 2 different worlds, but I love her already. So I'm gonna go for Trisha Levenseller on this one with Chris Colfer there as well, but I actually only own one of his books in a hardback, so it would be weird picking him for this, but he is my favorite author. Next up we have Fairy Tale. That was the winner from 2009 from Norway, Alexander Rybak. I don't know how I would say it with an English accent, so I'm sorry for that. It was, I'm sure you've heard of him from TikTok. It was the guy with the violin. And the prompt for that is a book inspired by myths or fairy tales. I have a shit ton of them, so it was actually harder for me to narrow it down. But I decided to go for this as a series, the Sisters Ever After series by Leah Stipes. This one is the first one, called Thornwood, where we follow a classic fairy tale. This one is Sleeping Beauty, but the twist with these is that every single character, or every single main character in this, have a sister that we've never heard about. So in this, Sleeping Beauty has a little sister who actually plays a very big part in how the tale plays out, and the same goes for the sequel, where we follow Cinderella. She apparently has a third stepsister that is not as mean as the other ones, and blah blah blah, all of that. It is a very, very good series, and I like how it twists, and yeah, I'm gonna go for this. Next up, we have 1944. This is a song that won in, I want to say 2016? I'm not 100% sure, so yes. And it's from Ukraine. It is very historical, the song, so the prompt for that is a historical book that you love. I basically went for the breadwinner. I didn't know that this was historical, but it was. I looked it up and I was like, it's historical. I'm gonna go for this. In this, we follow a girl named Parvana. She lives in Afghanistan during the Taliban. Her father is then taken by the Taliban, and she is forced to dress up as a man to provide for the family. It's adorable and heartbreaking. Read it if you haven't already. Next up, we have Party for Everybody. This was a song from Russia with a bunch of elderly women singing Party for Everybody and dancing on stage with cake. That's Eurovision right there. And that is a cheesy and funny book that always makes you laugh. I don't have any, but I will mention a author that I remember when I read when I was younger was hilarious. And his name is Rune T. Kide. And he makes spin-offs of fairy tales, but they're hilarious, so that's good. Next up, we have Euphoria, and that is a book that just makes you feel good. Obviously, I had to go for Coraline. I forgot to bring it down with me, but Coraline is my favorite. It is my comfort book, my comfort movie, my life. I absolutely love it, and it is what it is. In Coraline, we follow Coraline, who has moved into a house with her parents, and everything is just boring, everything sucks. She then discovers a portal to another world that is her own, but not. An alternate universe. Is that what it's called? I think so. But everybody has buttons for eyes, and shit happens. Let's say that. Next up, we have Waterloo, and that is a classic book that is still relevant now and will probably be relevant for many years to come. I don't read that many classics, and I have a hard time remembering if they're relevant or not, but I have a feeling that this is a safe choice. So I'm gonna go with 1984 by George Orwell. It's been a while since I read it. I cannot give you a summary. I am very, very sorry about that. It is phenomenal, if I remember correctly, and I need to reread soon. It's a must. Next up, we have We Love You, Europe, and the prompt for that is an author you think that some more people should check out. European author you think more people should check out. And I decided to go for Kenneth Bøgh Andersen. Granted, I've only read 2 of his works, but what I've read so far has made me want to read more of his stuff. And also, I am picking him because I know that he is one of the Danish authors that have actually been translated, so you can go and find his works. I think he has a series called The Devil's Apprentice that might be a little bit popular. I'm excited to read more of his stuff, and that is why I am recommending him. This one is Santa Claus's Death that I read for Christmas, and I was shooketh. It was very good. That was all the prompts. We had 12 prompts. I talked a little bit too much. I actually have things to do now, and I'm behind on my schedule. That was not planned. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment down below and let me know if you are a Eurovision fan, and also if you have any ideas for that Land of Stories tattoo, let me know. If you just want to let me know that you're here but don't know what to comment, you can always leave a green heart. If you like this video, please hit the like icon, and if you want to see more of my bookish content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And until I see you next time, bye!